Hey, hello everyone, welcome to this channel. So in this video, we will be changing the frequency of the time series data. So when we say the time series data, it's basically the stock data that we are working on. The need to change the frequency of a data is sometimes required when we are passing the data to an algorithm, which basically needs, let's say, a weekly data or the monthly data. And most of the time, the data that we have in hand is daily or let's say intraday data, right? So we need to convert it into weekly or monthly or even sometimes yearly. So there are two ways. One is using directly the our pandas method, which is a resample method. But we'll not be using that, but I will show you that for sure how it is done. But we'll also use, we'll create a function to calculate that. Right. So in the previous video, what we did, we converted the price of a stock to its return because um, when we are utilizing the return of a stock, it gives you a better data, or it gives you better information than the prices, because you cannot differentiate between two stocks if you are comparing them with respect to their prices, because they are not normalized, right? So in this video, we'll be using that data, and then we'll try to convert the frequency from a daily data to let's say monthly data. What we did in the last video, we created a data frame which had adjusted close, simple return, and log return. We'll be using the log return. But what we did not do in the last video was, converting this data frame to or exporting this data to a CSV file. So I did that, and I'll let you know, or I will tell you why I did that in the for this video. So basically, we'll be using the same data frame. So I wanted to, keep data file of that. Yeah, so let's do this change frequency. So we will be converting the frequency from daily to monthly. So we will be importing, let's say, pandas spd, and then we will also be using numpy as np. We will also be creating a chart. So let's import a matplotlib. So import dot pyplot as plt. Okay. Control enter. Now, if you have not installed matplotlib, please make sure to install it. There are a couple of ways. Either you can use it with the help of pip, or you can either install the whole package with the help of conda, right? Okay, great. Now let's first bring the data from the previous, or let's bring this CSV file into this, right? So let's say df is equal to dot read CSV, right? Because that's this is a CSV file, and then we had a file name convert, and then I'm saying that the index column is 0. So when I say index column is 0, it means to say that okay, let me show you the data first. What do we have as a data? And then I will okay. Okay, let me show you it in the next df. So this is the data. So index column is basically this one, the date column. Right. Now, see, when we use this data frame, I'll show you the error. Maybe, yeah. So I will show you the error which I faced and I had to convert it. So I'll show you the error, that so that you understand why are we getting that error, and then we will come back to the same code. Okay. Now what we will be doing, we will be creating a realized volatility. So realized volatility is basically the historical volatility of the stock, right? So whatever has happened in the past, that's the realized volatility, volatility of that particular stock in the history, or yeah, the previous months or years. So let's say define realized volatility, pass variable or parameter, and then we will return dot so square root of numpy dot sum. I'll share what I am doing here right now. Just give me a second. Right, so this is the function. Now, why I did that? So see, there are two ways of changing the frequency. One is basically either we multiply or divide the log returns by the number of time periods, right? That's the one way. Or we can also do multiply or divide the volatility by the square root of the number of time periods. So we are doing the second one. So the second one is, either we multiply or divide the volatility by the square root of the number of time periods. So this is the time period that we have, right? So here we are multiplying it with, let's say, 12, right? Because yeah, we are converting it into yearly data, or let's say monthly data. Now what we are doing, basically the method which I was mentioning earlier to change the frequency to monthly, we could have used Panda's method, but since we are creating it of our own with the help of group by and grouper, I will use that method, or I will create that customized, let's say, formula df dot group by, and then I'll say grouper pd dot grouper, and then I'm saying the frequency should be monthly, right? And then apply to a realized volatility, and then I would like to rename it, so that we don't create any kind of confusion. So what was the column name? So columns is equal to, let's say it was log return, and it should be given as realized volatility, right? So this should help us out. Now you will see the error. So let me just give it a different name. Why I'm not giving it df? Because we already have a data frame with this thing, realized volatility. This should not give us error. And so see, only valid with the date time index, date delta index, or period index. So for this, for to resolve this issue, what we need to do, we have to come back here. We have to convert this into date time format. Right now it's only the date. So that's how I understood the error. So let's say df dot index is equal to pd date time df dot index. So I'm converting this index into a date time data type, right? So because right now this df is it's an object, this particular column. So I'm just converting it. Right now, this error will not be there. Great. Now let's see the data as well, because I really like to see the data, whenever there is a change in the. So now we have realized volatility, right? Now let's convert it into yearly data as well. So what I will say, where is it? Okay. So realized volatility dot rv equal to, so this is the column name we have, realized volatility into square root 12. So this is where we are implementing the formula that I mentioned earlier, like the two methods, or two different ways of converting the data. Okay, I would like to see the data again. So let's say this one. So now this is like, see, it's a monthly data now, right? Earlier it was daily. Now let's create the graph for this, right? So earlier we had figure and ax is equal to plt dot subplot 2 comma 1 comma share x is equal to 2, and then we have ax 0. So we are creating two subplots. Okay, dot plot df, and then first so this is for the log return which we imported earlier. So let's say ax 0. Let's give a title, reliance log return. Let's say we have the data from 2010 to 2023, if I'm not wrong. And then let's create a subplot for the realized volatility, which will be similar to this. I'm just copying it because I don't define realized volatility, and then annualized realized volatility. Okay, so this should work. No, wait, just one. Okay, so oops, what does it say? Subplot takes one or three position arguments was two are given. Here is the culprit. Okay, so this is a log return, and then this is the annualized realized volatility. Is it right? Well, I could see the difference for sure. Should we? And like I mentioned earlier, we could have used realized volatility equal to, let's say, df, and then the log return dot resample into month dot mean, right? So we could use mean, or we can also use sum or minimum or the max. I mean, it depends on the scenario. But instead of this whole all those customized function, we could have used this one as well. But I think, see, it's better to understand what you're doing, and then using all these methods, um, because you will have better control over the data and as well as the logic, right? So yeah, this is how you convert from daily to monthly data. Okay, great. Probably in next video, what we'll be doing, either we will check how to incorporate the missing data. Like sometimes we used to have not available number or some blank values. So we will try to fill up that. Otherwise, let me see, because there are some issues with the data availability. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much. Have a great day.